Ryan.
But I'm not laying the make playoffs at minus odds.
No, I'm not. I'll just stick with the over 9.5 wins. Ugh. And I don't know.
Wish I could surrender that one.
What do you mean?
That's such a yeah. I'll take the over.
Okay.
It's
what don't you like? I think
I'm right on it.
No, but I feel good with my 10-7 because I do think, their end of the schedule is tough. But I was being kind of conservative early. Having them 6-2 through the first 8, they could. I mean, if they go 8-0, I would not be shocked. They just have a bunch of good spots early, and this team is kind of a first half team. So I don't think that's crazy at all. Them getting off to a hot start. I think I wouldn't say 10 is their floor, but it's close. I think there is a ceiling case for this team if their defense ends up being a little bit better, if they can maintain kind of what they were doing offensively, if Tua can cut down on some of those multi-turnover games. I definitely think there is a ceiling. Brian, what do you like in the futures market?
I like pulling up if you we looked at the schedule, it was easy early on. It was very easy to me to find. I looked at the last undefeated market.
Yeah,
that Bills game scares me a little bit early in the season there. But I did like they will have 4 wins in their first 5 games market at 2-1. Put me down for that. This seems very likely. Again, 10-1 if you want to play the last undefeated market, not super interesting for me.
I'm actually gonna. I do like that because this team just starts out hot. Last undefeated at 10-1. I like it. I mean, what did they start out last year?
5-1.
Yeah. I mean, again, there are a couple games that could get tripped up. That's why you're getting the 10-1, but them getting off to a good start, I think is pretty good there.
Jags, Bills at Seattle, Tennessee at New England. So if they actually, I'll join you.
They have that early bye, so there's, teams could get knocked out while they're on their bye week, and that would still cash. I think
that makes I like my bet even more with the four wins in the first 5 now.
What do you mean?
Well, if we get 5 wins, we're probably also cashing this last.
Oh, okay. Little insurance. I'll also toss a sprinkle here. Jaylen Wright, most rookie rushing yards at 20-1. I mean, Mostert, I love him. He was great. Dominated last year, but if he gets a little banged up, if Achan, who I think is already dealing with something, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, if Jaylen Wright kind of goes off and has some explosive runs, and Mike McDaniel, I don't think he gives a shit. He's happy to feed the hot hand. I think Jaylen Wright leading the rookies in rushing yards, I think is pretty. Like who are you worried about in that market round?
I mean, I guess the guys at the top.
Okay.
I
mean, Jonathan,
I know you feel it's crazy, but that he is going to play at some point.
Yeah. Jonathan Brooks, minus 125 favorite to me is bonkers, considering they're saying like it might not even be week 3 or week 4 until he gets out there. Now, Trey Benson is obviously
Blake Corum
interesting at 6-1. Yeah. These guys are going to get some looks. They have a couple of the quarterbacks in there. I mean, to me, yeah, I would definitely. I like him because of the Mike McDaniel scheme at 20-1. So,
all right, other big one for me is just the Dolphins divisional win total. We played this last year, Sean.
Yeah,
and I think it was 3.5 plus odds. This year it's 3.5 plus 115. Play it again. Last year they swept 2 of their division foes. So you only need one sweep for this to come through in my mind, because I think they split with the Bills.
Yeah, isn't this just a fun way to fade the Patriots?
Yeah, and you're getting plus 115.
Yeah,
basically on them to sweep the pay. Yeah, I again surprised that they got this price the wrong way again.
Yeah, now
feel like we're having deja vu with that one.
Yeah, but it worked. It worked last year, and
we had a very profitable episode.
And
year.
I don't think there's enough like crazy stuff that's changed on this team to, project them crashing or ascending one way or the other. Like they're still going to be a pretty good team. You know, I think they're going to be in the mix. Them getting in the playoffs, I like their chances. I'd rather just take. I'm not going to lay the odds on it. I'd rather just take the over 9.5 wins. Ryan, what about?
I got one more, and that's it.
Yeah,
I mean, you can go for it. I'm just letting you know.
I'll say this one, and Big Rob, maybe take off your headphones for just a second. But Tua to lead the league in interceptions at 20-1. I mean, he had 14 last year. He's at no risk of being benched, and they throw the ball a decent amount. So I'm optimistic for you, Big Rob. But Tua being in the mix there for most interceptions at 20-1. Considering Mike White and Skylar Thompson are his backups, I don't think he's getting benched. They're going to keep him out there, and maybe late second half of the season. It's a long shot, Big Rob, but. Kramer, anything else you want to toss in?
Well, we talked about Chop Robinson earlier.
Oh, he is.
You got to play the defensive rookie of the year.
What's his price?
I'll
let Big Rob.
Yeah, I'll say it. Big Rob, fire.
So I had the Chop Robinson one. I don't know. Depends what you're looking at. The Tyreek Hills, anywhere between 1375 and 1400 yards. We're catching that probably by week 12. That's coming quick. Definitely Dolphins over 9.5 for sure. And sprinkle a little bit, man. A little bit, man, on that Tua MVP. Sprinkle a little bit.
I like that. That's a sign of confidence when you're sprinkling the MVP. That's like my just in case Daniel Jones bet. Just in case.
No offense to either of you guys. I'm not going to be playing. I mean, all right. So Tua MVP. What is Miami's number one? Miami to be the number one seed price? Because I always like to compare those. So I'm seeing Tua MVP 25-1. Tyreek Hill will call it 1375.5 receiving yards. Chop Robinson, we'll get that here in just a second. But
the Chop Robinson price is 20-1.
20-1
for the defense. And honestly, like find me a guy who is going to have the combination of, because think about all the games early in the season when he's going to be with a lead, and with who knows with the recovery of it's very likely he's on the field a ton, and so unless he just can't handle it, he's going to have the chance to do something here. And when you look around the rest of the defensive rookies, it's kind of a similar reason, Sean. We thought early on, let's snag a piece of Darius Robinson over there in Arizona.
Yeah,
there's might be some opportunity here, and this guy's not being priced like he gets sacks, which generally leads to defensive rookie.
You also buried the lead. He's a guy named Chop. Come on. I mean, if you're one of these sports writing nerds,
easy to remember,
and it's like, Darius, okay, had a pretty good year. Chop. I mean, come on. I'm in your defensive rookie of the year. Checking Chop all day.
I'm adding this to my. We're grabbing a paper ticket of this when we're out at the circuit.
And Chop Robinson, Penn State guy. So I'll root for him. But yeah, so Chop Robinson 20-1, Tyreek Hill over receiving yards, Tua MVP over 9.5 wins. What else is on the Rob slate here?
And also, I couldn't find it, but maybe you guys can find it. Tyreek Hill first to 1,000 yards receiving.
I've not seen those markets. I've heard people speak of them though. But so throw that down. I would imagine. I mean, that's another way to play the soft schedule early in the season.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you look at some of these games they got early. Jags, that could be a shootout. Bills, that could be a shootout. Maybe not Seattle. Tennessee, that could be a shootout. Indy, that could. I mean, he could get it maybe in the first four or five games. That was me being very optimistic. I was just saying he's going to have
4 or 5 games.
But
he's going to get 200 yards per game. I mean, Tyreek Hill's good. Don't get me wrong. Right?
He's going to get it week 7 against the Colts in the dome.
Okay. I like the exact market there.
All right. Let's forget the Denver game. That was without Waddle. And he went crazy. So
that's true.
That's true. Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
If Waddle gets
that's 70-yard game. I mean 70 to 20 or whatever the final was. What a silly score. I mean, we're never going to see a 70-point game again, Sean.
No, that was you guys are lucky you're not playing the Broncos because Sean Payton is probably still pissed off about that one.
Oh yeah.
Kramer, any underdog season long stuff you like?
Yeah, no. So all right. I think the situation. First of all, the fact that they're offering more Odell stuff than anything is crazy.
Yeah.
So we'll just move past that. But when you look at this team and specifically Tyreek Hill, how is Tyreek Hill not going to score 10 touchdowns? I'm being serious. Like, we watched the games on Sunday, Sean.
Yeah.
And Tyreek Hill he's wide open. Like, we're watching. I know this is a donkey play, but I didn't. The running backs, it's too much to unpack.
I mean, he had 13 this past year, but he only had 7 the year before.
I know, but this offense is insane.
And then 9 and then 15.
And the running backs had a ton last year on explosive plays.
Yeah.
Which, if I was going to point to any sort of regression, that is the area where I don't expect to see them having all the amount of explosive hits in the run game. And I expect some of that to go over to Tyreek Hill, some of that to go over to Jaylen Waddle. And so maybe the sharper play is to play the lower man and Waddle, but give me Tyreek Hill. If I was going to play Waddle, it'd be yards. Higher Tyreek Hill, 9.5 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, Jaylen Waddle, he had 1,014 last year. His number is priced right around that. Of course, he did miss.
Yeah, he missed time.
He missed a few games. So you're going to take higher Tyreek Hill.
Actually, scratch that off. Give me Tua higher.
Tua higher passing touchdowns.
Passing yards.
What's his passing?
4,100 and a half.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go with that as well.
The season starts off so well.
It's a volume thing, and to me, you don't have to figure out, is it Jaylen Waddle? Is it Tyreek Hill? Is it one of these guys out of the backfield? The yards just cover you for everything. So
I was looking at some stuff on how much over expected yards they gained in the ground game, and how the expectation is that will move into being like short yak type plays, or the expectation that some of it will be, and that will just be Tua passing yards. It was someone making a case for Tua to throw for 5,000 yards, but I'm happy to just go higher, 4,100 and a half.
I'm going to put you down for that as well, Rob. That seems like a bet, an underdog play you're going to be on, right? Tua higher passing yards. You like that, right?
That and whatever his touchdowns is, because Mostert had like 21 touchdowns last year. That's definitely going to regress. I think Tua I think he had 27 last year, so I can see him throwing a couple more touchdowns this year.
25.5 is the number over.
Oh yeah. All right, we'll make that.
I don't think they watch the games, Rob.
We'll make that your official underdog play. Big Rob. Any other Dolphins bets, thoughts that we didn't get to already?
No, I think that kind of sums up. Like I said, I'm thinking big this year, boys. I think we definitely win division this year, and we'll have a home game. I can see us definitely breaking the drought this year, playoff win. So we'll get a playoff win, whether it's on the road or at home. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling my shot.
So Big Rob calling his shots.
I like that, Big Rob.
Playoff win for the Dolphins. Good times as always. Appreciate everyone. Had to hit the Dolphin sound effect one more time. Appreciate everyone tuning in, and of course, let's check out the best bets. Kramer and I a little more conservative than Big Rob, 10-7. Big Rob got you there at 12-5. Kramer and I like the Tua passing yards. Big Rob's he likes the passing yards too. He also likes the touchdowns. Chop Robinson 20-1, defensive rookie of the year. The division wins over last undefeated team. Because of 10-1 and kind of how they start out, and of course the division for Big Rob, Tyreek Hill, receiving yards, and Tua MVP. It's going to be a hell of a season for you, Rob.
I would point out that I think if you're a Dolphins fan, just in case something happens to Tyreek Hill and everything just keeps going on, Jaylen Waddle to lead the division in receiving yards is 12-1.
I looked at that. I didn't touch it.
No, I'm just saying if I was one that was wanting to have some just positive insurance just in case Tyreek Hill goes down.
All right, if you're looking for insurance,
I was just bringing nice. I have a lot of maybe question bets. Most of them I don't like.